Hello there. Thank you for stopping on by here at the Julian Hotel. So this is Julian, California, old mining town. This is the Julian Hotel, old historic hotel in town, and of course people say that it's haunted. This is the porch of the Julian Hotel. Now we can't go inside because we're not guests, but believe me, the parlor, it's just beautiful. It's like really old school Victorian parlor, tiny wooden steps leading up to the top story, and everything feels just very, very old school. More than 100 years old, built in the 1890s by Albert Robinson and his wife, and it was one of the earliest black-owned businesses in San Diego County. Albert Robinson, he had been born in slavery in the South, and then he made his way out here to Julian. Julian was, of course, a mining town. People found gold out here. And there's still all kinds of exciting action. People shouting on the streets in Julian. And so Albert Robinson and his wife, they set up a bakery, a restaurant, and then a hotel here. Built this hotel. And so this historic building, let's come take a look at the front of it. And let's see if we can look up at the top story where the haunted room is. Now, Julian Hotel, as an old historic hotel, it's got ghost stories, but they're not scary ghosts. They're not sinister ghosts. A lot of people feel that Albert Robinson, his presence is still here, but not in a tragic way, like somebody who had some unfinished business. They feel like he's still just looking after the guests. Now, I spoke with a woman who works at this hotel, and she told me that one of the guests came to her, and the guest said, "Hey, is this place haunted?" And she said, "Well, people say it is, but why do you ask me?" The guest said that she lay down for a nap early afternoon, then it started to get cold, she started to shiver, and she woke up and she saw a figure of a man standing in the dark room, standing at the foot of her bed, and she said he was holding something. She said it looked like a folded up flag, like the American flag when you fold it up, and he was standing there just kind of looking at her, but not in a menacing, sinister way. She said it felt like he was an old relative, someone she knew. And she kind of called out to him, then he disappeared. Now, what looked like a flag, the woman who works here told me, I think it was quilts. He was bringing another quilt because the sun had gone down over the Cuyamaca Mountains, and it gets really chilly up here when the sun goes down. So that's Mr. Robinson bringing another quilt, making sure that his guests are warm. And actually, a lot of guests say that when they're in their rooms, they'll feel that the quilts and the blankets get tucked in around their neck. And they just feel like somebody, like a grandfather, somebody, a beloved relative is tucking them in for the night, making sure they're snug and warm here at the Julian Hotel. So let's take a look at the front of the hotel. So this is one of those, let's come on down the steps. So it's one of those ghost stories that actually has a happy ending. No murders, no tragic deaths. Just a man who was born in the worst conditions you could imagine. Born into slavery, but found freedom. Came out here and started a business, started a family, and took care of dozens of people here. And was just happy to have guests in his hotel. Found a happy, comfortable life up here in this beautiful old mining town, Julian, California, up here in the Cuyamaca Mountains, the Julian Hotel.